This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath. On the map, Tournament Highlands. On the left side as the purple GDI. This is uxknow. And on the right side as the cyan GDI. This is MasterLeaf. MasterLeaf versus uxknow. This is the first game I am casting in like 6 to 8 weeks. I just uploaded a couple of games for Red Alert 3, but those were games that I had casted a long time ago and just got around to uploading, so there is so much stuff still to commentate. I missed a couple of tournaments in Kane's Wrath, maybe even in Tib Wars as well, and so there's just an avalanche of replays that I have been meaning to get to and have not been able to. Partially due to some surprising real-life stuff that really hit me out of the blue, as well as some travel for work. So we will see if before I leave again I can get some games down, because I've been missing the Command & Conquer action. And it's one of those things that, you know, when you're in the middle of regular life, you don't notice it, and then when things get disrupted, you're like, I miss casting Command & Conquer. I miss you guys who appreciate the games as much as I do. Just not a lot of people in regular life appreciate competitive gaming, but also just like, especially Command & Conquer, and you guys get it. And so I feel like that's something I've really been missing, is the ability to check out these awesome games, to talk about them, and then you guys also get excited, and you guys also get it, and we have this shared love of Command & Conquer. And I genuinely didn't think about that until this last 6 weeks when it's been missing. And it's like, oh, actually, that's something that I enjoy just about life. Anyways, uxknow, I don't know who this guy is. I asked around. Nobody knows exactly who he was at the time of my asking, which actually was like 6 or 8 weeks ago. But it's someone versus MasterLeaf, and if they have any chance of going toe-to-toe with MasterLeaf, well, they're probably pretty good at Kane's Wrath. It's somebody smurfing. I know Eclipse and I think Unleashed were also hanging around the game. Again, this is a little while ago, but they were hanging around the game. Ooh, command post before the expansion, or before the expansion move finishes for MasterLeaf, rather. But second War Factory coming up? Ooh, second War Factory for uxknow. But anyway, some older players, Eclipse, Unleashed. Okay, Bloodhound's getting called in, but he keeps the airfield. Anyway, some older players showing up and playing some matches. This could be another one, or it could be someone, a more contemporary player, who just happens to be smurfing in this match. One Pitbull going down on the side of uxknow, but he's going to be going for the Bloodhounds, trying to knock him down before they land. He gets the APC, but the two Pitbulls do survive for the time being. One APC absorbing a lot of damage, which is exactly what MasterLeaf wants in this situation. He wants to try and get off as many volleys with his inferior number of Pitbulls safely that he can. In this case, it's not quite working out for him, as he sends one Pitbull right into the maw of these rockets. An overwhelming force from the side of uxknow, as he has a distinct Pitbull advantage, which is just snowballing, and perhaps snowballing out of control, as he's now going to be cutting over to MasterLeaf's base. He needs to pump out some kind of defense, although with a couple of orcas splitting off to potentially harass harvesters, those Pitbulls might even be brought back home. uxknow might have struck out, and his opportunity to actually strike down some of these harvesters. We'll have to see. Pitbull's going to be coming in for MasterLeaf on the left side of the map. The orcas here in the north going to be cutting in just after this. There are some Pitbulls here to defend, and are they going to be able to catch MasterLeaf's orcas before they even get to the field? MasterLeaf cuts back to the middle of the map. He's going to try and abuse the terrain, get over this ridge, and avoid those Pitbulls. He's not quite going to be able to dive in and take a couple of shots at those harvesters. Those are actually just rocket squads standing in the Tiberium. That's what that battle marker was, not Pitbulls engaging with harvesters. In this game, getting right out of the gate, started up and quick with some great Pitbull action from these guys. One harvester down. Pretty good job by uxknow, boxing out these orcas and just keeping them away from his frontline harvesters, the majority of his harvester numbers, where they could do some significant damage. Double War Factory Pitbull after a couple of minutes. This is what it gets you. If you've ever wondered how many Pitbulls can you produce off of a decent economy in Double War Factory, the number that uxknow has is that number. A couple of Predator tanks, a couple of rocket squads, and a couple of rifleman squads also packed along for the ride. This is a bit of a weird attack. as you get an expansion up, you're definitely going to have enough to deal with this small of a force. This could just be a bit of a distraction as the Orcas come in. They pick off another Harvester before heading on home. That's at least 2 Harvesters down, perhaps even a 3rd Harvester being eliminated by MasterLeaf's forces, forcing an additional Watchtower to be drafted. MasterLeaf has been cleaned up, pushed away from the front line. And while these Pitbulls are going to run into a little bit of trouble, one of the reverse move bugs killing that Pitbull there. But other than that, they mostly survive. Rocket Squad's getting some shots off, potentially. No, the Pitbulls do barely manage to escape to the preparing love of that War Factory. This one Rifleman squad still being annoying here on the left side of the MCV of uxknow. Another Watchtower going to be going down, able to pick off both of the Rocket Squads very quickly and very easily there as the Pitbull, or as the Predator tank does manage to escape, at least for now. Orca Strike getting called in by MasterLeaf. We'll take a quick look at his expansion. He's finally got those double refinery up and running. Orca Strikes with real Orcas packed along as well. Going to get a guaranteed kill on 2 Harvesters. Not a guaranteed kill on 2 Harvesters. He pulled away at the last second there, and the Harvester did survive with, I think, just 1 rocket worth of health to take it down. Orca's going to be coming back in. They're going to dive on the Harvester, and they get it. There's the kill as he cleans up a Predator tank as well on his way out. Going to try and make this work as his attack isn't very strong, but he might just have barely enough to break through the front line of uxknow. No, he calls the retreat, and MasterLeaf, his small attack, is going to be pushed back. Keep trying these little attacks here and there, but they're not getting big wins for him. They are providing some opportunities for his Orcas to push in and do a bit of damage, but honestly, I don't know if that's worth it. It doesn't feel like MasterLeaf is getting big gains with these little distraction attacks, so his Orcas can push in. Maybe over long term, it'll kind of make up for the fact that MasterLeaf did go for a bit of a slower expansion. Maybe that'll kind of even things out, and uxknow, who hasn't harvested a significant amount of this natural expansion, won't be dramatically ahead in the economy. But we'll see. I feel like this game is shaping up very evenly. The paths initially very similar between the 2 players, but they have diverged just a little bit. Baby Bert getting ready to go to bed as he is giggling in the background. Orca's going to be coming in. They're picking off Predator tanks, which is a great move. Where are the Rocket Squads? Where are the Pitbulls? They're not on the front line, so MasterLeaf is going to absolutely destroy this small pocket of uxknow's army, and he gets a couple of Pitbulls, 3 Pitbulls in addition to that. Shatterers, almost called them Shockwaves, but that's not quite right. Shatterers trying to deal with the infantry, but these Predator tanks going to be able to clean up the last 2 Shatterers, and now suddenly MasterLeaf's army has been depleted entirely because he had no good answer to those Rocket Squads. He let the Rocket Squads pick him apart, and a Predator tank in the south doing a bit of unanswered damage. Where are the Hammerheads? Where are the Rifle Squads? Where are the APCs? Almost literally anything to deal with these Rocket Squads, which are now going to be getting a couple of volleys off on the Orcas. The Orcas pull out just in time. They do manage to escape for now, but they're holding still. Almost going down. Those Orcas getting close to death in the south. Pitbull starting to push in as the Marv is on the way. The Reclamator hub is ready and waiting as one Harvester goes down, trades it out for 2 Pitbulls, but that Harvester most likely had blue Tiberium in it, and that was worth a lot to MasterLeaf. Orca's way up in the north, another one going down, it looks like, as this AA battery gets deployed by uxknow, who's now going to be pushing in and trying to take down the airfield, which recently had that Orca that was damaged and sent home a little bit early. MasterLeaf once again with a small force moving out in the south. This is a game of small skirmishes. Here and there and everywhere, not the big epic armies facing off and just looking at each other for 5 minutes. Sonic Emitter going to be going down. A bit too much defense for this paltry army to deal with as is. The Predator tank does go down barely, not getting out of range, leaving just a couple of Rocket Squads, just a couple of Riflemen there, as in the south, trying to break the Harvesters going in for that blue Tiberium. A couple of Rocket Squads are going to hang out near this blue Tiberium field, and they may end up just dying to this Rifleman squad inside of that building, which would be a bit unfortunate. Power plant going down. MasterLeaf not responding to the infantry in the north. He's learning from his mistakes, though. A bit of an oversight by MasterLeaf. We expect him to be a little bit more prepared, but this game has been so scrappy, so down and dirty with so few forces that like earlier, he just doesn't have quite the numbers that he would normally have if this game played out a little bit different. Rocket Squad's going to be trying to take down this War Factory. They may not barely get it as this Rifleman Squad cleans up the opposition Rifleman Squads before working on the Rocket Squads. And a fully heroic Rocket Squad actually takes a lot of damage from a Rifleman Squad. 3 Rifleman Squads now on the front line as MasterLeaf pushes in with 3 Orcas. He doesn't get the grab on the Conyard. He doesn't get that massive damage off. And MasterLeaf once again trying to steal away this blue Tiberium with his harvesters, but a big crowd of pit bulls is going to try and put a stop to that. Marvs on both sides heading towards the middle of the map as the MCVs are also looking to establish some kind of expansion there in the middle and control that big central field. The army in the north for uxknow has been eliminated as his pit bulls push in the south. This is a great backstabbing move, and MasterLeaf is not necessarily looking for a long-term opportunity with this Tiberium. He's going to try and harvest what he can. The Juggernaut exposed here. 2 harvesters not going down. A second one actually survives, just barely. 1 moment of health left, and the Juggernaut also survives. Pitbull's going to be doing damage or dealing with this Predator tank, trying to, and eventually they will take it down. If they fire just like 1 more shot, they would take it down, but he misses the opportunity. uxknow also going to try and harvest a bit of this field away as MasterLeaf's harvesters head to the front lines. And a Mammoth tank showing up in the north. 1 lone Mammoth tank to clear out these harvesters. Shockwave artillery locking down uxknow's Marv, and MasterLeaf only has 2 Juggernauts in the south. This is not enough to take it down in just 1 EMP, or is it? It might actually be enough with the Marv and the railguns. It barely does survive, but it may not be able to escape away from the front line as Zone Trooper drop pods come in, but it's too little too late. The Orcas finish the job, and the Orcas manage to escape, except 1 who goes down to the pit bulls. The sonic emitters going down and blasting away units on both sides as the Marvs get eliminated, and those EMPs are deadly. The Juggernauts trying to deal with these Zone Troopers, but they just shred the Juggernauts as once again the trades from both sides being very back and forth. Zone Troopers from both sides trading blows. The pit bulls getting eliminated. The Juggernauts being chased down by these Zone Troopers almost as they take shots at MasterLeaf's Zone Troopers. Once again in the north, the Mammoth tank standing not strong against the Rocket Squads, but eliminating at least 1 of the harvesters up there. uxknow and MasterLeaf trying to contend for the middle of this map, and this has just been back and forth between these guys, and now they're both out of cash back home. They've got these Juggernaut armies. They're going to try and get themselves back on their feet. That's 2 engineers. I don't think he has a Marv out already. No, the Reclamator hub is still here, but he does not have anything coming out just yet. Orcas flying through the middle of the map. Rocket Squad's catching 1 of them, and MasterLeaf loses yet another Orca in this game. Harvester gets eliminated by the Juggernauts on the front line, and goodbye Juggernaut Husk. MasterLeaf has no chance to capture those with his engineers. uxknow, with the artillery advantage in the middle of the map, going to be able to put on pressure to MasterLeaf, and MasterLeaf currently has no answer. His Orcas have not been doing tremendously well. What do we have going on here? Is this going to be some kind of Hail Mary pass by MasterLeaf? 1 last desperate attempt to pull something out of this game as the Juggernauts march their way forward, working their way through his line of buildings. His MCV going to try and escape from the front line. It does manage to get out of there, at least for now. Juggernaut stepping forward. MasterLeaf with a couple of Rocket Squads going to try and take out the tib spike of his opponent, and the Commando goes down in 1 moment. The Commando gets eliminated by Rocket Squads, and MasterLeaf's master plan falls flat as uxknow takes the middle of the map. But is he not going to press his advantage? This could be trouble if he doesn't press forward and do something to MasterLeaf. Just give MasterLeaf time. Okay, he is moving forward. He's got infantry, he's got Juggernauts, and he's got Zone Troopers to back up the Juggernauts as well. 1 tib spike goes down. MasterLeaf has managed to keep a hold of his tib spikes, but he's got Zone Heads. The Zone Troopers cleaning up 2 harvesters. One of them may have had Tiberium, but that second one's actually completely empty, which makes it much less of a desirable target for MasterLeaf. these zone troopers inside of the Hammerheads could definitely deal with the Juggernauts very quickly, so MasterLeaf may not actually have to win the battle long term. He may just have to hold the line and then swoop in at the last moment with his zone heads and clean up the last forces of uxknow. The backstab by MasterLeaf, going maybe for the power plants. He's going for the harvesters and the war factories as he fears the slingshots. He fears the pit bulls, and he's going to try and keep the pit bull numbers down, picking off a couple of them just as they spawn, coming right out of the war factory and immediately destroyed by MasterLeaf, as MasterLeaf is skating around the map with these Hammerheads doing good damage but not able to find critical deaths. Although this is a decent amount of bleed from these pit bulls, a decent amount of pit bulls going down basically to nothing, but he doesn't get the command post. The power plants are going to be potentially his next target, so the slingshots are coming out, the Hammerheads are being pushed away, and the Juggernauts continue to press the front line. The MCV is either destroyed or having had to have moved away from here. Juggernauts continuing to press on forwards. Last Sonic Emitter goes down. The Juggernaut's going to be eliminated. They're almost completely undefended. The slingshot shows up at the last second, but it may be too little too late as these Juggernauts are going to be getting pulled apart. Those Hammerheads spreading apart to avoid the slingshots, but one Juggernaut does still remain, and the slingshot control is not as good as the Hammerhead control by MasterLeaf, who's circling back and forth with these Hammerheads, attacking with Hammerheads that aren't being targeted by the slingshots, abusing the AI, and he actually managed to defeat slingshots with these zone heads. MasterLeaf is giving an absolute clinic on micro of Hammerheads versus ground units. What was that? He just killed like 5 or 6 slingshots with those Hammerheads, dodging in and out, and again, that was the control of MasterLeaf, peeling off Hammerheads that weren't being attacked and using them to clean up the slingshots as they were trying desperately to find the Hammerheads that they had been targeted on. Driving around aimlessly as the MCV goes down. A free kill there. That heroic, that veteran status, that fully heroic zone trooper inside of there with so much range, doing so much damage to these slingshots before they can get adequate shots off, and even the sniper teams helping to even the odds, making sure that there aren't any rocket squads or any zone troopers to quickly eliminate buildings. And these Hammerheads, the absolute saving grace of MasterLeaf, truly turning everything around. And by picking off the army, by picking off discrete anti-air units, he has managed to even the odds, slaughtering another line of Juggernauts, as this is 6 or 7 Juggernauts dead on the field, potentially even for the taking. Although, no, I don't think he has an MCV. He doesn't have a barracks, so he's kind of out of luck in that sense. But the husks are there, and those Juggernauts are not marching forward. Those Juggernauts don't have the opportunity to do any more damage, at least for the time being. And MasterLeaf may actually be able to pull something out. If he can keep the numbers down of units that shoot down, then he can just skate around the slingshots, never engaging directly with them, and just picking apart the buildings one by one without ever having to engage the army. MasterLeaf might have actually found a path to victory in this game, being down and in such a weird position, pulling it out with the zone heads. The MCV, is it the thing that is being rebuilt? I think not, based purely on that build timer. And more slingshots. You know what? Slingshots are great, but they aren't necessarily the answer in this situation. I think he might... Oh, the MCV... No, that's another slingshot. He's just purely going slingshots. At least pit bulls could be peeled off, could be split up to go and attack infrastructure on the ground. You gotta eliminate buildings or something, but zone troopers are heading in. Even a grenadier squad and 2 fully heroic zone troopers possibly just pulled out of those Hammerheads to deal with the ground forces. Rifleman squads coming forward, but they get eliminated so quickly by the Hammerheads, and the slingshots are now getting pushed back by this incredibly awkward army of MasterLeaf, who's going to be calling in the Bloodhounds without a war factory, just the airfield. He still can produce units on the ground, technically. Were those zone troopers supposed to get inside of those APCs? I think the answer is yes, and those APCs are now a fearsome force with the pit bulls against these slingshots, and the slingshots are going to absolutely shred the Hammerheads if they get in range, but there's no need for the Hammerheads to ever get in range of the slingshots. The slingshots desperately chasing, but uxknow has been outplayed. He painted himself into a corner, and he has no real solution. GG gets called, and uxknow has been defeated. What a weird and wonky game. but what a clinic from MasterLeaf of pulling something out of the bag. A sloppy game in some ways, but a down and dirty, low army numbers fight from almost beginning to end. Pretty much 20 minutes of action that these guys providing for us. And that was just, in so many ways, not a great game, but in so many ways, a phenomenal game by these two guys. uxknow providing an opportunity for MasterLeaf to just be clinical with those hammerheads. What a show from these guys. And that will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. Rifleman squads from both of them. But really, those zone heads doing so much work for MasterLeaf. That will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Sybert, signing out.